guys, welcome back to another episode on the modern day hippie. And on today's episode, in honor of Juneteenth and everything else wrong that is going on in this world, we are discussing why race matters, the struggles of POC, okay? And if you don't know what POC stands for, it's people of color. And people of color refers to exactly that, us people of color. So anybody that's yellow, light skin, brown skin, dark skin, you are considered a person of color because you are not Caucasian, aka white, okay? Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because I guess it's easy to be ignorant and pretend like racism doesn't exist. But when you are a person of color, you don't get that privilege to pretend like racism doesn't exist, okay? You are snapped back to reality every time you walk out the door. And especially living in the South, that reality is damn near a lifestyle for some people, okay? As a person of color, we do not get to go and not see color. As a kid growing up, I was never really one to see color because I didn't think it mattered. But now that I am a young adult, I am slowly starting to realize that the color of my skin matters more than anything, because when people look at me, they don't look at me for my personality or who I am as a person. The first thing a lot of people see is color, okay? Now, before I get too deep in the rabbit hole, I hope you guys all have been well, and I am so sorry that I haven't been getting content out to you guys on the regular, but that is all going to change. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. The other day, what really sparked my inspiration for this video, because I totally forgot that the other day was Juneteenth. Okay, so Juneteenth is celebrated on June 19th, and basically it celebrates the emancipation of the enslaved people. And for those of you that don't know what that means, it's just the day that we celebrate the 1862 Emancipation Proclamation, okay, which is like this, supposed to be an important piece of paper for us as African Americans or POCs, okay? But yeah, basically this proclamation states that all enslaved people are free, okay? And they're considered like 3/5 man or whatever, which in itself is a prime example of why ignorance is like the main problem when it comes to racism, because it's not that people don't know this isn't right, they just blatantly don't care because it doesn't directly affect them. And that seems to be a problem a lot of the times here in America. We don't care about anything unless it directly affects us. But thankfully for POCs, it does directly affect us, so we're the ones constantly saying something. But then you always get comments like, why does everything have to be about race? Not everything is about race. Those are the old days, this, that, and the third. But let me tell you guys, if the past shaped our present and continues to affect our futures, why wouldn't it be important? Why wouldn't we constantly bring it up every chance we get? Because it seems like y'all don't care, which is the reason why, or y'all are not listening. And when I say y'all, this is like a dear white people type of thing, okay? Because there is no reason why it is 2025, June of 2025, and white people, Caucasian people, some, I'm not going to say all, because somebody's going to get offended if I just say white. So some white people think it's okay to act a certain way towards not even just black people, not even just African Americans, but Latinos, Middle Easterners, what else? Chinese people, like, again, people of color. Some white people think it's okay to treat people of color any type of way, even if they aren't African American, because if you don't look like them, you're not one of them, or they don't consider you one of them. Okay, and with that being said, I'm gonna go into what really sparked this video. So the other day, me and my boyfriend are in the grocery store. We're at Food Lion. We're getting groceries. Just a little extra commentary about my boyfriend. He is Puerto Rican, black, and Cuban, but as you guys can see, he is light skinned. So in the winter, he is like lighter, almost white passing, but in the summer times, he does have his little caramel tint and love it. In the produce aisle. Now, I had no clue. Like, it totally, like, passed my mind that it was Juneteenth, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, a lot of holidays that matter to us as a black community are being taken away from us or are being put down. So I'm not gonna lie to you, this year, because like I get like a notification and things like that on my calendar. I did not get that this year. So for those of you that really care about holidays like Juneteenth, definitely make sure you mark it in your calendar yourself, because they are actually, for those of you that voted for Trump, he is actually trying to remove federal black holidays. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, I'm just telling y'all what y'all need to do if y'all want to keep remembering holidays like Martin Luther King Day. Okay, because according to Trump, there's too many non-working holidays, which is a crazy statement to make right after Juneteenth. Really, you want to say there's too many black holidays, but I digress. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, because it's weird to me that every time we celebrate holidays like Juneteenth, something gets said. Craziness, but I digress. Moving on. So yeah, we're at the grocery store, we're getting produce, and there's this white lady standing in the aisle, but she's standing directly, like she's blocking the aisle. Her cart's on one side of the aisle and she's standing directly in the middle of the other side of the aisle. So I politely say, "Excuse me." She doesn't move, she doesn't budge, she doesn't even look at me. So I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't say it loud enough, because I do have a very soft voice. So I say again, a little louder, "Excuse me." This lady, I kid you not, she looks at me dead in my face. She does one of these, okay? Pretend we're gonna call her Little Miss Susie, okay? This is Little Miss Susie. This is me, okay? Yeah, this is me. She looks at me, turns back around, and proceeds to do absolutely not shit in the aisle like she was before I said excuse me. So I go, I'm looking like, am I bugging? Am I crazy? Or did she just dead ass look me in my face and still not move? So I say it one more time. She side-eyed me again. So I say, okay, since bitches want to be rude, and I say this out loud, I do say this part, I said, since people want to be rude, I'ma just push past you. So I turn my cart, because I'm like, okay, I don't have, like, there's, the way Food Line was set up in the produce aisle, like, the way that I was going was the fastest way to my boyfriend, but I was like, okay, I might as well, now I gotta go the long way. As I start to move my cart to move around this woman, she literally tries to move her cart in front of mine to block me off and cut me off. And I say, absolutely not. I almost run the bitch over with the cart. I'm not even playing. And I say to my boyfriend, these Trumpies are something else, okay? But I'm not gonna lie to you. In that moment, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. Like, maybe she honestly didn't hear me, or, you know, because she's older, maybe she has hearing problems or something. I'm trying to, like, really, like, wrap my head around what happened. So basically, to confirm my suspicions, okay, me and my boyfriend are now outside, and Little Miss Susie has parked her car next to ours. So me and my boyfriend were unloading the groceries, putting them in the car, and she's unloading her groceries to put in her car. Mind you, she only had like a couple things. and she goes to put her cart up. But before she puts a cart up, she's staring at my boyfriend as she's turning around to like go towards the cart thing. She does a double take, and then she starts locking her car. Like, she pressed it more time than she should, really. And so I'm watching the whole thing unfold, and I'm like, okay, so I wasn't bugging. And then the whole time we're pulling out minding our business, she's like me mugging us. The fucking audacity. You do realize that Europeans and Spaniards forced their way. Let me rephrase that. They colonized America. It wasn't theirs to begin with. There were people here before y'all. Y'all realized that y'all were the ones in the wrong, right? But even apart from that, it baffles me that you really don't like me just because of the color of my skin. Because had that lady had a conversation with me, had she got to know me, she would find out I'm a great person. And that's not just me tooting my own horn. I'm being truthfully honest. Like, when it comes to racism, like, it's so stupid to me, because it's just like, you don't know a person, their story, what they've been through, who they even are. But the fact that they are not your skin color or not the same skin color as you, that's your only sole issue with them, and that's what your hatred is being built off of. Are we so for real? I would say, like, prior to moving to the South, I really thought racism was a myth, because living up north in New York, like, granted, it was my childhood spent in New York, but like, we left New York when I was like 13, I think. Yeah, right before my 13th birthday, we left New York. This is not racism. Like, I mean, stereotyping is more common than racism. Like, I've never seen someone be blatantly racist. I've seen them be stereotypical. I've seen them be a little inconsiderate, but never like blatantly. Like, I've never gone to a store and had a person look me dead in my face as I was saying excuse me, and then act like they're so entitled to their place on this earth with one blow. It don't care where the blow come from, your existence is wiped. Okay? Diseases, wars, famine, anything could wipe you out today or tomorrow. So the fact that you feel like your place on this earth it was meant to be, get over yourself. Like, for real, get over your fucking self. It's just like beyond ridiculous. And this is like the reason why people of color are so passionate about, not even about the fact of making everything about race, but when you guys make everything seem like you deserve it more than a person of color, that's when it starts to become about race. I don't know why that's such a hard concept for people to understand. Color shouldn't matter, okay? But the reason why it does is because of situations where I had with little Miss Susie. That is not the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh time that I've experienced that. I've had moments like that. Some worse, some pretty much exactly like that. But it's not that uncommon here in the South. Like, this is a regular occurrence. And here in the South, you kind of have to just brush it off and go about your day, because you're going to probably run into like 3 other people within the span of an hour just like that other person. It's just the facts. And we all know about how the Civil War went with the North versus the South. Like, it's like, y'all understand that these are textbooks. Granted, there are people trying to change and rewrite history when it comes to Black history or people of color history, Native American history. But when it comes to Caucasian history, y'all write everything to the T. So it is no surprise of why you come to the South and people are surprised that there's racism. Don't be surprised, baby. Don't. Just don't be surprised when you come to the South and experience racism, because there are literally people driving around with Trump flags and Trump signs and everything. And I know we're sitting here and it's like everything now has to be about Trump, this, and the third. Trump's a dumbass. He's a dumbass. He's an ignorant dumbass at that. And everybody that voted for him is trying, well, I'm not gonna say everybody. Some people, especially major people like that Ryan Garcia guy who was I don't know if he did UFC or boxing, but he's a fighter, okay? He gonna post and talk about some, when I voted for Trump, I didn't think that this. It was basically the same sad story that a lot of people are coming, like a lot of Trump supporters are coming out and saying. They're like, we voted for him, but not this. No, you did. You voted for him and everything that he's doing right now. Because nothing that he is doing right now, he didn't say before y'all voted for him that he was gonna do. Everything he's doing, he said he was going to do. So for y'all to sit here and play this story of you didn't know what you was signing up for, yes you did. Yes you did. And you allowed your heart to be led by hatred and ignorance. I just hope nobody watching my video voted for that man, because like, I'm sorry when I say this, but your feelings are going to be genuinely hurt. You voted for ignorance, hatred, and inequality in my or unethical practices. Ignorance, hatred, and unethical practices. That's what y'all voted for, and that's what y'all got. And now, because it's not just affecting everybody else, it does affect you, especially as a Latino or Hispanic person that voted for Trump. Now that you realize you're really not safe, you're not safe when it comes to Trump's presidency, unless you are rich or famous. And I'm sure that's going to burst a lot of people's bubbles today. But unless you're rich and famous or a businessman, you're fucked. And then what makes it even crazier to me, like, to just be a little more specific, we would not see color if the people put in power did not see color. Okay? That is to say, from the beginning of time, since America was developed, we've all heard the stories of how America was built. We know in the Constitution, people, African American men were considered 3/5 of a person, and women weren't even considered people. We were simply just objects for the man's whatever he wanted to do with us. That's what he could do, because we weren't seen as a person. So as a white woman, to not only be racist but also be anti-feminist, you realize that you as a white woman were basically seen the same way I would have been seen in that time period. We were basically one and the same. We were treated as one and the same. The only difference is that a white woman, well, I can't even say a white woman wasn't beat, because shit, the things that I've heard that was going down in 1962, that shit was normal. Okay? 1862, 1962, whatever. Beating on your wife was a normal occurrence, okay? Nobody really cared. And in fact, it was probably encouraged too to beat your wife. Knock some sense into her. If women had a thought of their own, they were thrown in crazy houses. And that's white women who were free but weren't actually free. So it's just like, pick a struggle. Now, when it comes to racism, I just want y'all to all understand that it doesn't just affect people of color. Yes, dear white people, it affects you too, because y'all are so worried about a past narrative. Y'all worried about the wrong thing. The only reason why the past narrative keeps getting brought up is because the past narrative is basically the same as the present, just different words. Okay, and different ways of going about it. No, not everything that was allowed back then is allowed now. But people have new forms of slavery. Jobs, working for the white man. You're not seen successful unless you're slaving, doing hard back-breaking labor for the white man. And for your president to go and then say there's too many non-working holidays, niggas need a break, because otherwise them CEOs will work you like they were working people back in the day for like, and paying them like what, 15 cents, if even that. 15 cents an hour. Who's living off of that? Racism affects us all, because at the end of the day, hatred and ignorance, they don't see color. They just see people, and they live in people. And if you are a person that is being racist towards other people, you are further putting more ignorance and hatred out into the world. And therefore, this is the reason why there will never be peace. There will never be peace. That's why it affects us all. It's because without understanding, without acceptance, there is no peace. We can't live in harmony with one another if we're constantly fighting because one person is darker than the other. So, all that being said, okay, not everything should be about color, okay? Not everything should boil down to black and white. But pretending like racism doesn't exist, colorism doesn't exist, we are not doing anything more than allowing the white man upstairs to win. And I'm not talking about that white man upstairs. I'm talking about upstairs, probably in the top penthouse floor type shit, okay? You catch my drift? When we turn a blind eye, we allowed ignorance and hatred to win. When we don't speak up, we allow our oppressors to win. We allow our oppressors to keep doing what they do best, and that's keep us down. I will say, like, for a point in time, the word nigga has been debated. A lot of people feel like as a black person, you shouldn't use a word that was used against you because it's ignorant, it's stupid. But let me put this into perspective for you before I end today's video. That's what we do. That is what we as people of color do. During slavery, white masters would give their scraps to African American. Ribs, pig feet, pig intestines, ears, nose, all the pieces that they didn't want, they gave to us. And what did enslaved Africans do? They turned that shit into, they basically turned scraps into a feast. At the end of the day, a word only has as much power as you give it. So yes, by us as African Americans taking a word that was used to put us down and now we use it casually, it makes our oppressors mad because that's not what they wanted us to do. That wasn't their intention when using the word, okay? It's all about, how can I put it? Reverse psychology in a sense. Like, if a bully keeps bullying you and you start ignoring the bully, they move on to somebody else because you're no longer feeding into their negativity. So by black people taking the word nigga and reinventing it, basically, we took, literally, you're taking back your power. You're taking a word that was used to put you down, make you feel less than, and being like, it's not even that big of a deal. What's up, my nigga? What's going on, nigga? Nigga, 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 nigga. Okay? Me personally, I'm never going to stop using that word. But it's just, I just wanted to give y'all a perspective, okay? A lot of things that we as African Americans do today that some people are like, that's derogatory. They use that against us. Flip it and reverse it, okay? Take Missy Elliott's words. Take them and do something with them. Little Miss Susie is just one prime example of when unconditional love doesn't lead the heart, okay, or the mind. It's just unnecessary intolerance. Okay? And in today's society, intolerance is the last thing we need. We have way too many issues as a country to be worried about color. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, that's been today's video. So if you guys enjoyed, let me know in the comment section. Any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, I would love to hear them all. The comment section be kind of like crickets in there, so y'all need to get active or get left. Just saying, just saying. But yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye. I